It's Charlie from Daily Motor, and we are excited today to bring you the 2022 GMC Hummer EV pickup. We are really excited to drive this car. We here at Daily Motor love EVs, we love trucks, and GM put together just about the coolest package here that they could possibly have made in an off-road electric vehicle. Got a first drive review here today. It's frigid cold down in southeastern Michigan, but it's a perfect time to be testing this thing out with its big 35-inch tires. It's very capable, 1,000 horsepower all-wheel drive electric powertrain. Today's drive is just going to be kind of going out and talking about what this thing is like from behind the wheel and from a bit of an ownership perspective. Quick shout out to Gawking Buick GMC in Lake Orion, Michigan for delivering this vehicle to one of the very first customers in the world to receive an electric Hummer. We're really excited to drive it. He's really excited to own it. So without any further ado, let's get to the vehicle. First things first, for any of you who are not familiar, this is an all-new car for really the segment. It's one of the very first electric pickup trucks to actually hit the market, be delivered to customers. Yeah, there's a few Rivians getting out there and everything, but this is GM, General Motors, one of the largest automakers in the world, throwing their entire weight behind an electric pickup truck. And they made it really, really cool. It does have a steep price, about $100,000 right now to get into one of these. This specific one, this edition one, 118 grand. But you get a lot of really cool things with it, so let's go check them out. This is going to be a little bit less of a video showing all the neat, to channel our inner Doug DeMuro quirks and features. There's videos on that already. We're going to kind of talk about what this thing is really like out on the road in very real world situations here. So we'll do a little bit of a walk around and then get us inside. We've got Chris and Nathan as well here. Let's go have some fun. We are going to have more content on the Hummer as well as we get it back at Daily Motor HQ here a little bit in the future with a little bit warmer weather. We are going to have a sound test of the Bose 14-speaker audio system. We'll be doing a range test, all sorts of other good videos. A little bit of a walk around here. You see we do have some accessory running boards. Those were put on. We've got some accessory lights on the truck as well. All edition ones come in this bright white color, which hopefully is standing out a little bit okay against this snow. You've got your multi-pro tailgate. Pop it open. If you've seen other GM vehicles, works very similarly. At the end of the day, this is a pickup truck, so you have pickup truck abilities. Very, very high off the ground in this current mode. Let's see if we can drop it. Does not look like the key has a drop function. Unfortunate. You can also drop this part down, I think. There you go. So if you did want to be able to step up into your bed, you've got the multi-flex tailgate to do that. This truck does have an optional tonneau cover as well, installed from GM, as well as the rear tow hooks. Your charge port over here, that's going to allow you to get up to 350 watt DC fast charging. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we're driving the truck around, about the logistics of that. We are in the increased ride height mode right now. We are waiting on a software update to be able to put it into the full top maxed out suspension mode, but the air suspension does allow for some raise and lowering. There's a lot of other fun exterior bits, H's here and there, and moon accents. But let's get on inside and get this thing behind the wheel. All right, getting into the Hummer EV. The car's already on, hence the beeping. Notice a lot of the materials are not exactly like a luxurious leather by any means. They're kind of rugged feeling. This thing's, it's, at the end of the day, it's an off-road vehicle. Everyone say hello to Chris and Nathan. This thing, it's a neat color scheme. The thing that's made me excited about this vehicle the whole time, from its inception, its launch, its announcement, now getting to drive it. It's a vehicle that's intended to be cool. Like, the whole point of this, yes, it's showy, it's ostentatious, and really should be a pretty impressive off-roader, although the size might kind of have some, there'd be some trails that'd be tough to get down with this thing because it is huge. But I just appreciate that the whole reason it exists is because Mayor Barra and the GM team wanted to make the best off-roader possible. They wanted to make it cool, bar none when it came to cost or anything. So they made it electric because you can perfectly adapt traction and you can do all these cool things. I mean, if you were having to do this huge lift on a car with a conventional engine and powertrain, it wouldn't be very easy to do. So everything they did was made to make this vehicle fun and cool. And we see that right here in the interior. We see kind of a unique steering wheel design. We can see buttons that kind of have an interesting diagonal plastic finish. It's not exactly what I would call premium, but it works for this car. And this isn't a touch screen. This is a very functional all button sort of layout. Again, this is not leather. It's a almost, how would you, diamond? It's not diamond, but it's like
rubber.
Yeah, it's like almost a rubberized material.
Probably very easy to clean.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, I'm pretty sure.
Just hose it out.
Yeah, there's no carpet in this car. It's all rubberized floors and everything, so you can just hose it out. A ton of room down here. Center pass-through. Yeah, because you don't have to send a drivetrain through there.
Look at the.
Are there moons?
Yep.
Moon things. A lot of moon aspects in this car.
Lots of gold as well.
Yeah, I kind of like that bronzy gold look.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
And these screens, they're not just large to be large. They also seem quite functional. You've got actual Google Maps here. This is not some sort of GM navigation screen. This is an active Google Maps. So I could straight up, you get Google, you can see the traffic updates, everything right there. And this is the first car outside of a Tesla I've seen to have a video streaming service built right in. I only see Hulu, but I can imagine they're going to add things like Netflix, other sorts of things like that. Some other screens you can do, off-road views. This car has 17 different cameras on it, various auxiliary switches. Apparently this is how we switch on our auxiliary lights that were GM accessories. You can see all your various camera angles. That's right under the car. So you see if I put it in gear, start driving away, you can see the wheels turn and actually piloting us through the snow. That's really cool. And then same thing for the rear. Where to go? Oh, back up, it actually does that, but you can switch back and forth. Various camera angles there. Up top, sides. If you were towing, you could see right onto your trailer ball hitch thing. There's a lot you can do with this truck. And that's what I really like, kind of getting right off the bat here, is electric vehicles are allowing brands to start doing cool stuff and thinking outside the box. And that's kind of what we're seeing with the Hummer here. As I get out of crab mode, maybe. I'm supposed to be out of crab mode.
Are you stuck in crab?
I think I'm stuck in crab. Is it responding normally now?
Stuck with crabs.
There we go. So let's get out on the road here a little bit. We'll demonstrate some of the fun other features in a little while. Find another parking lot somewhere, although I don't know if we'll find one as glorious as this one. One of the first things that all three of us noticed as we got on the road is how good the ride is. This is a serious off-road vehicle.
This is the best riding pickup truck I've ever been in. I mean, by far.
Sometimes, oh, my traction control's still off. Better get that back on. Sometimes I don't know if we're sliding or if the rear wheel steering is just kicking in, because this thing does have a pretty dramatic rear wheel steer angle, and it makes it so that you can do some really tight turns in this truck. It's impressive. Whether it's a parking lot at Starbucks, you need to kind of get yourself through the drive-thru, or maybe you forgot an item at Starbucks, you needed to go back and actually make the tight little turn back into the drive-thru. It's important to have that.
This feature will be used for that at some point in this car's life.
Yes. This car is brand new from the dealer, only 53 miles on it, but I must say, in that 53 miles, we have averaged 0.7 mile per kilowatt hour. That is really, really bad. To put it in perspective for some of you who are not super familiar with EVs, your average, like our Tesla, for example, averaged about 4 miles per kilowatt hour, and this has been getting 0.7.
That is quite the difference there.
Right. Now, mind you, this has been sitting around a lot, probably running a lot of heat without doing many things. So let's actually go down to trip 2 and reset that, and we'll try to tune in on the end of our drive here and see what our miles per kilowatt hour has been. But this is not estimated to get very good efficiency. It's, at the end of the day, it's a 9,000 pound moving brick.
9,000.
This thing weighs over 9,000 pounds.
That's heavy.
It's huge. It's immense. And even though, yes, it's going to cost you less probably than a gas vehicle of this size, it only gets about mid-40s MPGe. So you're not going to be getting the best fuel range or anything on this car. I mean, it's got a 212 kilowatt hour battery. So yes, even though our EPA range is about 320 miles, you need more than double like a Mustang Mach-E or a Tesla Model Y battery pack, almost triple the size of that to get that range.
Just put 9,000 pounds into perspective. That's 2 Ford Explorers stacked on top of each other.
Pretty cool drive mode screen coming up here. So you've got my mode, normal, tow haul, terrain, which
I like how it bursts through a screen. Like,
yeah,
to change modes.
I don't know exactly what terrain is supposed to mean, but
It's not terrain. It looks like Venus. That one's Mars. That's Venus.
Okay, so if you're driving on this is Mars.
That one's Mars.
You can hear how much louder the fake noise gets in Mars mode too.
That was.
Jeez.
Thank you for that.
We're supposed to not be doing this on paved road, but
Kicking it. Whoa! All right.
That's so fast.
The whole thing like twists itself and like. Hey.
Wow.
All right. Why didn't it feel like that earlier?
Maybe it's
Nice
warmed
and
up.
warmed up now.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
It's bucking.
Yeah.
This thing is a marshmallow, but
It's
it's
like
awesome.
being on a boat.
Yeah.
You nail in the front end, lifts up.
That's a camera.
That is looking directly down.
Trail cam. 3. Count them. 3 windshield wipers.
Let's get out of camera mode and switch into. Let's go my mode. This should be a little bit quieter.
This is like some.
There's drones around.
That one is like Star Wars mode. It's like you're driving on the Death Star.
A little bit more serene now. That is remarkable. I imagine this road is quite bumpy, but I'm not exaggerating when I tell you all.
Yeah, this is washboard and it's just soaking it up.
Yeah.
You can hear the roof panels rattling slightly.
That's honestly the worst part is just the roof panels. It's there's more NVH than there is actual bumps in our butt.
They are blue. Lord.
You know what's interesting? The steering wheel is actually quite small. And it's got very good electric power steering. It's very easy to steer. But I kind of like that. It makes it very maneuverable. I mean, this thing, for as large as it is, it does not drive that large. Really, it's just an apocalypse vehicle.
Yeah.
For those of you who are not aware, as you see up here, these are fully removable roof panels that maybe we'll show at the end of the video. You can pop off and you can store actually in the front, which we'll have to demonstrate as well. It's no big surprise that the electric powertrain feels very dialed in, buttoned down. GM has been making electric vehicles for a while now, and you have to remember that as GM is a serious player in the electric vehicle game. They've been doing it for a while with the Bolt and the Volt. A lot of people think of Ford with the Mach-E, and what I think GM did wrong is they made the Volt and the Bolt uncool. The Bolt looked like a moving computer mouse. So I think it's smart for them to finally make a cool electric vehicle like this, and what do you know? People are flocking out to buy it. It's no big surprise. Say what you want about the Mustang Mach-E name, they made the Mach-E cool, and that's ultimately is what's selling the car. How's comfort for you all? What's the back seat like, Nathan?
Backseat comfort is about average, and at the end of the day, this isn't a Rolls Royce. It's not supposed to carry people around in a serene, luxurious manner. It is an off-road vehicle, but you'll be back here for a pretty long amount of time and not get sore or anything.
Gotcha.
But you do have rear climate controls, heated seats, auto, fan speed, good knee room, very good headroom. You could be a lot taller than I am.
Demonstrate the pretty tight turning radius. I mean, I'm still gonna have to 3-point here, and that's good.
Same or similar turning radius to a Chevy Sonic.
Yeah, a little tiny thing.
With the rear wheel steering, that makes it possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, the rear wheels will actually turn with the car, or against the car to make it turn tight, or with the car to do what's called crab mode. We'll demonstrate that here in a little bit. You can see we've got the GM camera rear view mirror, because if we go like that, actually, it's not too bad being able to see out of there. Does that rear window slide down? What does this do?
Oh yeah, the whole back window goes down.
Can you demonstrate that?
Yeah, it's probably. There's like a
this one?
one-touch switch for it. Oh, no, yeah, it is that. The entire window goes down. Yeah.
We've got a few different regen modes. You can either do one pedal off, one pedal on, or high. We're in high mode right now, and I mean, it dramatically slows the vehicle down just by me releasing my foot off the pedal. It's kind of more Tesla-esque in that way. A few different heights you can drive in as well. You've got normal ride height, entry, exit. Can you actually drive in that? Let's see. Vehicle will lower you as you slow to a stop. No, you cannot. But you can drive in increased ride height. It'll give us a few extra inches of lift, and then we can tower over people just that much more. To change up the HVAC, like say you wanted to turn your heated seat on, for example, you press the seat button, and then it expands into two other buttons for both heat and cool. It's kind of a neat way to keep this HVAC system compact while still making it functional and not having to switch to something like a screen. Quite appreciate that.
Yeah, I was confused getting in here earlier. I thought, you hit the heated seat button and then you touch over here to choose what you want, but it actually works better this way because, of course, as journalists, we like buttons.
We do. Wow, look at these oddly
Those
shaped.
are
Yeah.
really something.
Do they extend though? Yes. I am glad that at $100,000 we do get a power adjusted steering column.
Oh, that's like your thing.
That is my thing, yeah, especially at this price. And you have GM Super Cruise. This is actually the first GM car I've driven with Super Cruise. I don't think we'll be able to demo it today, both with the weather and with our drive route, but it is nice to have. The gauge cluster seems good as well. I mean, if you want to call it that, it's really just a screen. But, I mean, it's telling me what I need to know. It tells me the speed, my range, tells me in kind of a percentage bar as well as a number. And it's straightforward. I'm glad they didn't get gimmicky with it. I mean, it's a little gimmicky showing, like, bits of the moon surface, but, yeah. What is with it just yanks to the left every time. I don't know if it's a matter of traction or what.
Man, it does feel like a boat, though.
It really does. We're not in increased ride height either. This is just normal ride height. And
Are you sure we're not in increased ride height?
Yeah.
I feel like you put it into increased.
I did, but I took it out.
No.
I can put it up now, though. There we go.
Make everything worse.
Are we increased? Still going. Still going. There we go. Rock-a-bye, baby.
Feels like it's gonna lift off.
Yeah. It's a cool driving experience. That's all I can say so far. But yet decently normal too. You don't get in here and have to learn how to drive the car. It's a normal shifter, it's a normal wheel. You press the start button and you drive.
Yeah. Driving wise, driving dynamics, anything like that, can you relate it back to a GMC Sierra in any way? Or does it feel completely different?
Maybe a little bit in the large feeling from the front area. I know Nathan commented on that in the Sierra, how it felt like it just drove large.
Yeah.
Yeah, the steering feels a little bit similar. It's been a little tough because it's been snowy out. It doesn't quite have the sponginess of the brake pedal, but again, I'm not getting on the brakes because it's slowing itself down with the regen.
Right.
Oh, there's a Tesla here. We can really make it feel inferior.
Oh yeah.
We're viewing the tops of GM Equinoxes.
Holy crap! That puts it in perspective of how tall.
It does hold you at a stop. My foot's not on the brake or the gas.
You feel important right now, like
Yeah.
better. Or I guess I should say
Superior.
Do you feel like the Subaru-ness, like that you're better than everyone?
My smugness.
Yeah, the smug.
100%. Now that's interesting because that was full power right there.
Maybe it's a traction control issue?
It might be a traction thing.
Probably also has to do a little bit of the fact that it's 9,000 pounds.
That's a good point.
Plausible.
This does have a special launch control mode called Watts to Freedom. I don't think we're going to get a chance to demo that today. Maybe if we find just the right bit of asphalt, but as you can see, I don't think we're going to be achieving the proclaimed 3-second 0 to 60 with wet roads like this. Electric vehicles can do quite an impressive job at managing traction to all four wheels, but you can't overcome physics at the end of the day. Bigger than this lifted Ram, too.
Stay away from this person. He's gonna. Yep, he's already triggered. See that? He's already upset. Yep, there it is.
These big all-terrain tires, really not too loud in here.
No, it's surprisingly quiet.
Yeah.
Even with having a non-fixed roof.
The mirrors are a little small outside. I'm
Small.
Yeah, they are.
that one, from the driver's seat. Maybe it's because you're about an acre away from me right now, but
I'm pretty far away from you.
It looks small. This one looks huge. That one seems
like
small.
OG Hummer H2 in the way that I'm just like a football field away from you.
Yeah.
Like to put things in perspective on the camera. This is how far away I am.
I can tell you what, owning this vehicle, you would look forward to any red light that you come up to in the front. Because you know the moment that hits green, you can just...
Holy cow.
Oh. Holy God. Wow. So much drama in that.
Yeah.
And I feel like GM, they could have like made it more tame, made like the back suspension load up, but they didn't. They made it fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that adds to the whole experience.
I completely agree.
So many people think electric cars don't have drama, but
this is proving that
proof
wrong.
that they do.
And again, I'm going back to the ride. I'm surprised it's not stiffer. Like it's quite smooth in here. We're taking these expansion joints very well.
Yeah, my butt is on fire. So
The heated seats do work.
GM finally realized that they didn't need to make every car they made rock solid to make it sporty.
Yeah. 40.
That's sporty. Have a rough ride.
That road's pretty clear back there. It is definitely fighting for grip because I have a kilowatt power meter up here, and it's not going to full. This is cool, guys. This is a really cool truck. Here's cruise control. No super cruise because we're not on an approved road, I believe. Yeah, this thing's, I mean, it's a nice place to be. I would hope so at $100,000, but few complaints.
It feels like a puppy that hasn't grown into its adult paws yet.
Poor tires. That took so... I didn't even realize you were stopping for a minute.
You guys ready?
Lord. Yep.
Vehicle lowering. Still lowering. I think my foot's on the brake. Why is it still lowering?
Oh, I gotta floor it.
Yanked to the side.
Wow.
You a little bit clenched over there?
I gotta do another. Oh, it's ready. It's just ready to go.
I got one that I want to do in horizontal too. So. God, the brakes. Oh.
That's cool. And you guys can feel how it's lower and it's tighter now. A little bit. The suspension's a little bit firmer because it's staying in this launch mode.
That is just ridiculous.
That is insane power.
And I gotta say, Nathan's talked about this a bit before. I feel like we all have, but I appreciate how it's so simple.
Oh, that was nice of them.
It's so simple to put it in the launch mode, and it's staying here. It's not like you have to go through another button dance to get it back into launch mode.
It says stand by.
Yeah, it literally says stand by, ready to go. I do have to say, I'm still impressed by how well this thing drives as kind of a daily driver. That rear wheel steering must have been very important into just kind of making this thing not feel like a tank. Because we've driven some large vehicles. I mean, this is definitely easier to manage than something like a Ram TRX or a lot of the other big trucks we drive. It's kind of just comfortable. The wind noise is certainly noticeable as we kind of get up to speed here. You hear it, but I expected it to be worse. I expected it to be more Bronco-y, Bronco Wrangler, that sort of thing. It's really not that bad. Some of the gimmicks are just that, they're gimmicks, but other things I genuinely think add to the ownership and kind of driving experience. And yeah, it's in some respects a little bit more like having a fun car, like a sports car, kind of like the Bronco or a Mustang or Corvette or something. But in other ways, I could actually see somebody dailying this, which is kind of crazy considering, again, we're getting 0.8 miles per kilowatt hour. And at the end of the day, if this thing were fully depleted, even at your maximum level 2 charger at home, it's going to take about 20 hours to fill this back up with juice. So you're going to have to make some sacrifices. Just because it's electric doesn't mean you're going to be hugging trees. You're still burning a lot of electricity. It's just you don't see it and feel it at the pump. You feel it when you plug it into your house. But yeah, really cool thing. And again, the most impressive thing to me has just been how approachable and actually easy to drive this thing is, despite it being a 9,000 pound tank. Let's go into off-road mode. It's off-road, there we go, got it. And let's raise this thing up. I'll demonstrate this very tight turning radius.
He's gonna drive through someone's backyard. Everyone.
We're actually sliding. This is very icy.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's very tight. But if you don't want to have a tight turning radius, you'd like to have the opposite. You hold this button, and then you get a little prompt for crab walk mode. Let that engage. Then you have rear wheel steering going in the other direction. Gotta give it a sec, and then when I turn, the whole vehicle does this side-to-side deal. And keep in mind, it's virtually impossible to make any sort of tight turn. I'm full lock right now. We're barely just gonna make it up and over this snowbank. But say something were right here in front of me, and I just needed to get past it like this. It's neat. This is a little bit more gimmicky. I think the launch is something you actually use more on a daily basis. This is pretty gimmicky. Does it work in reverse? It does. Does that feel uncanny to you guys?
It does.
Yeah,
it's just like,
really...
what the heck?
Okay. What else? We have averaged only 0.7 miles per kilowatt hour over the last 17 miles.
Could have something to do with multiple watts to freedom.
It could. It could have something to do with that. You can lock all of your diffs. No big surprise there. Cool. What are your guys' thoughts?
It's pretty incredible. I mean, probably... I was thinking, and this has got to be cooler than any Ferrari, any Lamborghini, because at this point, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that those are just becoming kind of show-off cars. Because
yes, this is not a show-off car at all.
Because this isn't.
But I mean, it can do watts of freedom. It can accelerate just as fast. It can go off-road, and only $100,000.
I actually do kind of agree with that in the way that you can get so much. It's almost kind of like a TRX in a way, but even better because you're not getting 10 miles per gallon on premium fuel.
Yeah.
You're getting 40 miles per gallon on electricity. But this you could clearly take 5 people in good comfort. You can take things in the back. You can take it off-road. You could drive it on-road. It's got a lot going for it.
I like it also in the way that it's fun, and it's the suspension, like Nathan mentioned earlier, doesn't firm up in the back when you're doing a launch. It just
unless you want it to.
Yeah.
Right. But you're able to have that drama.
Yes.
And just be absolutely ridiculous. And when you've hit the brakes there, it nosedived into the ground, and I'm sure the back was way up in the air. And
yeah.
It's ridiculous. I think it looks great. I mean, I don't know. They did a really good job.
let's check out a few last things kind of before wrapping it. I want to play around with the hood, or sorry, this roof panel. So apparently it should, oh my gosh, I'm so far off the ground.
You're gonna stay right here and watch it?
Yeah. It should do one there, and then, look at that. That is quite light.
Now it's snowing in here.
And then you can open the frunk, that power opens, and you see these bags here. You can actually put your roof panels in the bag and they'll latch and store in the frunk here. All 4 of the roof panels can be stored. It's not particularly heavy. I mean, I'm holding it with one hand, and that's where they can go. But Chris was right. I better get the roof panel back on before it snows too much in here. I gotta say, this is a bit easier than doing the Gladiator's roof panels. And then oh, there's one.
Are those light?
Yeah, they are pretty light. I was able to hold it just one hand. Yeah, this is really cool. Kudos to GM and GMC and the Hummer brand for coming back and just making a cool car. It is big, it is powerful, it's quirky, it makes farts. Aren't those beefy?
Yeah,
Aren't those like
beefy.
I mean, you do need to be beefy to pull 9,000 pounds out from a ditch where you'll inevitably put this thing, because it is a handful when you when you hit the throttle. Wow. Well, thank you all so much for coming along. We've had a lot of fun bringing this to you. Looking forward to spending even more time with the Hummer. Looking forward to getting the SUV in the future too. And thanks to Nathan and Chris for coming along as well. If you do want to see more on the Hummer, we're going to shoot a sound system test, and we'll have more videos when we get it back at DMHQ. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. We're Charlie, Chris, and Nathan with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.